Been introduced in preparation for this upcoming welterweight bout between Pisetlex from Thailand, 28 years of age, fighting out of the blue corner tonight. He's had 80 fights, won 60 of them and lost 20. Started fighting at 14 years of age, so 14 years experience. And certainly we've already seen what outstanding fighters these Thais are in this great Australia versus Thailand challenge, the first of the challenges. And certainly Brisbane has turned out at Festival Hall in huge numbers to see all of the action. Tony Hill on screen, the Australian super middleweight champion. He's 22 years of age, fighting from the red corner tonight. And here's the comparison when you look at the experience of these fighters. Tony Hill, as the Australian super middleweight champion, has had only 18 bouts. He's only had 2 bouts more than Pisetlex has lost. He's won 16 and lost just 2. Superbly fit-looking fighters, there's no doubt about them.
The idea of walking around the ring there with the hand on the top rope is to purify the ring of all evil spirits. And even though both fighters have trained very hard, he's saying to the Australians, I want to win, but I don't wish to inflict any serious injury on my opponent. So the idea of going around the ring with the hand is to cleanse. They believe they're cleansing the ring. What he's doing now is called the Wai Kru. The Wai Kru is the 3 basic bows. One to himself, that him and his partner won't get hurt tonight. One to his trainer, who taught him all of his techniques. And then to Siam and Thai boxing in general over the 2,000 years. He's done the Ram Muay very short. That's called just a Wai Kru. He didn't go into the Ram Muay. He just did the bowing ceremony.
Now, Bob, while in Thailand this form of boxing has been going on for hundreds of years, they've really only adopted this form of the boxing after the Second World War, if I understand correctly.
It's been going as long as we understand boxing. It was very big 2 or 3 centuries ago and died out for a while, pretty similar to Western boxing. Had a resurgence 200 years ago. But the interesting thing, recapping what you've just said, they only started wearing boxing gloves in 1948.
Right.
So after the Second World War, they decided, hey, we've got to stop doing this bare knuckles, we've got to put gloves on. And then they said, we'd better put some rules and some regulations and some round times. But early this century, they just kept fighting until one was all over. Very similar to the bare knuckle fighting of Australia at the turn of the century, and Europe and America. That some Australians are very, very famous for, the bare knuckle fighting at the turn of the century.
All right, well, we're now going into the final stages of preparation for this 5-round bout. 3 minutes duration each of the rounds, with 2 minutes in between the rounds in this standard of fighting, in this great international challenge here at Brisbane's Festival Hall. The bell for the start of round 1. Tony Hill, I must say, looking very much like a product of the Sunshine Coast, a very brown surfing image about him, and pretty fit and very solid young man.
I believe the only time they have trouble with him training on the Sunshine Coast is when the waves are up.
I can believe that. Oh, that won't hurt his footwork.
So for anybody watching this tape overseas or anywhere in Australia, that's an in-house joke up here in Queensland that the Sunshine Coast is a very strong surfing community. Because of course if you live in Melbourne you wouldn't understand that joke.
That's right.
We have no surf down there.
Well, the knees certainly being brought into play very heavily here by both contenders. The referee separates them. Bob, while some of these Australian fighters might find it pretty tough going against the experience of the Thais, they're certainly going to gain enormous experience in international competition out of this series.
Well, these boys are the forerunners. This is the first time this has been done. We want to see where we're at internationally. And these brave Brisbane boys have come out with a quarter of the experience. We've got here 80 fights compared to 18, I think it was. It's 300 times the experience. But Tony Hill from the Sunshine Coast has come down and put himself on the line. We wouldn't do this in Australia normally. We match the fighters according to fights, but now we're going on an international market because Australian kickboxing is getting stronger, and we have to take this now. We've got to match ourselves against fighters with a lot more experience. And there's a very good exchange of knees here. Both guys got a good control with the hands. Referee feels he wants to break it up to get them fighting open again. He's entitled to do that after 10 seconds if he feels that the action is waning on the knees.
Boy. Tony Hill thrown to the ground, but quite legally. Rolled in again. A couple of good kicks in from Tony Hill. A couple of fairly solid body punches thrown there too by the Thai.
Yeah, I'm surprised, although in the corner a few were off centre, but just a couple of good body shots. But throwing the one hand all the time. I mean, he just constantly threw the right hand, not using his body to go from side to side and develop more power in his punches. He was quite content to push out with the left and just punch with the right.
All right, well, the end of the first round, how'd you see it?
I'd rather not say at this point in time because it's following the same format.
Yep.
So in that alone, I've said it.
Oh, we've got a replay of some of the action here.
The Thais have got the experience, so it depends on the local boys if they've got the heart to keep going. That might wear the Thais down, but of course the Thais also get stronger as the fight progresses.
Absolutely. When, as you say, they train 6 hours a day, they're going to have plenty of stamina for the distance. Some good action here in the replay. There's the legs almost kicked out from under Tony. Tony Hill from Australia up against
As you can
Pisetlex.
see there, it's certainly a physically active sport. Here's a different angle coming in again. Just look at the amount of action going on here compared to most of the fighting arts, any of the martial arts around the planet. This Thai boxing style is certainly action plus.
Yeah, the attack comes from everywhere, doesn't it?
You've got to be prepared to be hit with anything from anywhere to anywhere.
All right, we're going to have a listen to what's happening in the Thai corner now.
บาดเจ็บได้โดนหัวก้มหน้าหน่อยก้มหน้านิดนึงก้มหน้าหน่อยมันจะไปอยู่แล้วมันจะไม่เอาแล้วไม่ต้องเร่งฮะเร่งตีน็อกไปเลย
Well, I understood legs in there.
I understood. If you not look better and win this fight, you not get Australian girl after the fight.
That sounds like a bribe.
Oh, dear. Can you believe it? There's certainly plenty of massage work and heavy work going in on the preparation of Pisetlex. Now, this is, of course, a 2-minute break between the bouts to give the trainers the opportunity to work on their charges. Tony Hill looking reasonably relaxed and taking different type of instructions. Mouth guard back in as they get ready now for round 2. This is a welterweight bout in the Australia Thai Challenge at Festival Hall in Brisbane. Round 2. Oh, good legs. That must have been the legs, I understood. Well, that's ripping the rug out from under you.
I don't think the Thai was mentioned an Australian girl. I think he was told to get out there and pick the pace up. They feel strong.
Yep.
This is unusual for a Thai to go this hard in the second round. I think what the Thai trainer was saying, get on top of this Australian, go out and do something in the second round, because he's certainly out there putting full aggression on. And at the moment, Tony Hill's on the receding end, but I've heard Tony's as tough as nails. That's the report that came down from the Sunshine Coast, that he'll be there. As long as he can possibly take it, he's going to keep hanging in.
Well, his trainer Joe Hilton's going to be impressed with his ability to take some punishment by the look of this, because he's copped a bit already, but he's coming back.
That was a nice turn up then by Tony Hill. Turned the Thai back into the corner. But just looking at the two, it looks to me like Tony's tiring a little bit more than the Thai. This is where the 80 fights and the 6 hours a day starts to pay off. Unless Tony can get a lucky shot, the Thai boxers from Thailand do not have the hand skills of the Western fighters. So if Tony's lucky, he may do some damage with punches. Other than that, he's going to continue getting... And here he is, coming again for the attack.
It's difficult to be able to get inside to throw those punches, isn't it?
Very difficult to get inside the wall. He got a good straight left in then. But a good right hand from the Thai.
Missed him.
Oh, Tony's come strong again. A very strong lead left, but missed. But he's come back in his grapple very, very strong.
He's tough. He is tough.
It looked to me a moment ago like Tony was starting to tire, but he's taken a deep bite and he's come back.
Well, those knees working overtime. Well, the Tony Hill fans are certainly not going to be disappointed with the performance from the local boy. He's shown tons of courage in there. He looks as though he's got plenty of strength, but boy, there's a lot of experience that he's up against.
Both fighters showing very strong mutual respect there. I think the Thai, when he came out, he was told to go strong, and he really got on top of Tony in the first half. But the second half of that round, I'm not saying Tony came back and got on top, but he certainly came back and answered with a big heart. And did you see the acknowledgement of the Thai there at the end of it? They both put their hands out to say, well, we both put a lot into that one.
All right, well, have a look at some of this heavy work that went in between both of these fighters.
I felt Tony Hill did slow down a bit during the first half of the round, but if this is a slow motion clip from the second half, he came back really strong. Not necessarily to get the points, but at least to show face that he's here to get it on with the Thai boxer.
Well, Tony Hill still looking pretty clear-eyed.
He's come strong. I'm very impressed with Tony Hill. The second half of that second round, I'd suggest he's behind in both rounds by a point. 2 points, he would have lost, I think, 10-9, 10-9. That's my assumption ringside here with you. But, of course, I'm not a judge. But just for the people watching this live or watching it on tape, I feel Tony Hill is the underdog over 5 rounds. In the first 2 rounds, he's probably 2 points behind. But I'm very, very impressed the way Tony came back in the last half of that second round. And in the break, the 2 minutes, he looked very cleared-eyed. And let's see what happens now at the beginning of the third round.
Okay, round 3 of 5 3-minute rounds in this international challenge between Thailand and Australia at Festival Hall in Brisbane. Plenty of heavy work going in.
Nice left
Tony
and right
Hill's
by
going
Tony
in.
Hill.
He's
And a
going
body
to
kick. The Thai's coming back. But Tony's in there with a pinch. Tony Hill going low with the knees, up with the punches. Look at Tony Hill putting on the fight of his life here. Tried there for a trip, which is illegal. Referee didn't pick him up.
Well, he's prepared to have a go at it. And the Thai corner are going berserk. They're telling him, get in there, boy.
I don't think the punches of the Thai are worrying Tony Hill. Tony Hill's got a very confident look in his eye. He knows he's in for a war, but I do not think the Thai is worrying Tony with the punches.
He's a strong lad, Tony Hill from the Sunshine Coast. And what would be, without doubt, his first international bout. And boy, he's putting up a good one. Oh, good punch coming in from the Thai, Pisetlex.
I don't think Tony's worried about those punches. Comes back with a knee.
Referee calling on the break. Get him out of the corner.
Left and right by Tony. And the left by Tony.
Well, Pisetlex certainly under a bit of pressure in this round.
Well, this is Tony's round all the way. He could even draw it up on this if he gets this at 10-8. Good right hand by the Thai.
The Thai wanting now to get in close there. Well, Pisetlex is going to know he's been in a fight by the end of the 5 rounds tonight by this stage. Big knee coming up. And again, and again.
I think the knees are worrying Tony more than the punches. Looks to me like Tony Hill has got no respect for the Thai's punches, but I think he's still getting effect from those knees. But Little wink to Malcolm Anderson then from Tony Hill. He's not perturbed about this round. This is Tony's round.
Well, he looked straight at you, Bob, when he was on the ground there, and he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. His eyes are as clear as ever they can be. He knows he's putting in a good one.
Yep.
What a great stuff.
Definitely Tony's round. If you got
And the crowd know it. Have a listen to them. They're going wild.
Oh, that was Tony Hill's round. If he got that 10-8, they'll be level pegging. The scores will be level if the judges gave that to Tony by 2 points.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, we've got the camera in the corner. Let's hear what Joe Hilton has to say.
Bang, 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 kick, right? We've got to think about that. There's a combination. Let's not stand still. Let's not travel. Let's move around and find out. Get in the ring, Roger. Get in. Come on. Let's move around. Let's go. Leg kick, bang, bang, through the body. 1, 2 punches. You want him with a straight right. Come on.
Here's some of the action from what has been a sensational third round in this second international bout tonight.
I think this is going to develop into an interesting fight because Tony Hill has no respect for the Thai's hands. He's still a bit wary of the knees. He's covering and holding really tight so the knees can't get off. But as soon as they open up, he's quite prepared to box. He wants to get his hand working against this Thai fighter. The Thai's too intent on leading out with the left and only punching with one hand. Tony wants to get it on with both hands. And I would say that was definitely Tony Hill's round.
Well, we're back in Tony Hill's corner, and you can see the work is frantic around him at the moment, making sure that he's revved up and not been given a moment to relax because they want to keep him pumped. Thai fighter, Pisetlex, in the other round, in the other corner, getting the towel. It's a bit of a cool down, but boy, crew in the corner working hard on Tony Hill here.
We've had the call for seconds away. There's 10 seconds for the seconds to come out of the ring. And we're going into round 4. And I would say at the moment the scores would be, in my opinion, dead level. 80 fights against 20 fights.
And the crowd know they've got a fight on their hands. Have a listen. They're enjoying every moment of this. Oh, yes. Solid.
Beautiful left jab by Tony Hill. Just missing with the right hand.
Ties down, but it was a slip. Oh, and he's in again. Those head punches are going to start to hurt.
Tony wants to turn into a boxing match.
Oh, he's walking into him. This is a sensation. Tony Hill is really pummeling the head of Pisetlex.
Listen to this crowd. They're going berserk for Tony
And
Hill.
well, they might.
A kick to the face and a right hand from Tony. The Thai comes back with a body punch, and there's those knees. Tony back with his own, which wasn't very effective. Tony's knees are not effective, but his hands certainly are. There's an uppercut from Tony Hill, and another uppercut.
Yes, the Thai's major weapon is that knee, but boy. Hill's a sensation. He still looks bright and fresh.
I think Tony Hill came down from the Sunshine Coast fully prepared to put a hard fight on and thinking, maybe I haven't got much hope, but I'm going to fight my heart out. But he's got a hope here. Tony Hill has got a chance of pulling this off. He's very strong in his round
what
again.
What a sensation this would be. Oh, he's got him again with that left. He looks as though he's groggy, Pisetlex. If Hill can get him with the punches, he got him. Not getting up as fresh as he did in the first couple of rounds. This fourth round is again a sensation.
30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Pisetlex's head is wide open, and Tony Hill is taking every advantage with it. He's really worked on it.
Yeah, the Thai's come back strong in the last 30 seconds, but Tony's still hanging in. He's still fighting.
There's the bell for another sensational round as the boxers acknowledge one another as they head to the corners, and the crowd's loving it. Have a listen to them.
The Thai will be getting yelled at. They're not supposed to go 4 and 5 rounds. They are supposed to knock us out. So this Thai boy in the blue corner will have big problems with his trainers.
Here's some of the action once again from round 4, and look at the water spray off the head of Pisetlex as Tony Hill has really punished his head. There's going to the deck. No count needed. It was only a slip. Back in the ring, and they're working on the Thai fighter, Pisetlex. Get him a little fresh, and he needs it. Gee, this would be a sensation if he knocks him over, Bob.
Oh, I really feel that I think at the end of the 3rd round he drew the score, and there's a big chance he pulled a point. Tony Hill at this point in time, at the beginning of the 5th round, Tony Hill could possibly be a point in front on the fight. So if he can come back aggressive in the 5th round, we just might beat our first ever Thai boxer beat in our country.
Well, there you go. And
Tony Hill might be the first one to do it.
You see Hill working not only on the head, but he got in a good kick to the face of Pisetlex there as well.
He just needs to slow down a bit. He could have placed that uppercut much better there. He's punching a little bit too fast. He should be just slowing down a little bit. And if he had that uppercut on the button, then the Thais are not used to taking head punishment like normal Western boxers because they spend so much time with every other weapon. They are not as tuned to taking punishment to the head. And you'll notice every time Tony gets a good hand on, the Thai doesn't like it. But when the Thai punches Tony, Tony couldn't care less. He does not respect the Thai boxer's hands.
Round 5 coming up, the final round in this welterweight international bout. Pisetlex from Thailand fighting Tony Hill of the Sunshine Coast in Australia. And you better believe there's a real chance of an absolute boil over here.
Well, I gave the first 2 rounds to the Thai by 1 point. I gave the 3rd round to Tony Hill by 2 points and the 4th round by 1. On my card, Tony Hill is ahead on 1 point coming into the last round. And he started
the right way.
And a left jab again from Tony Hill. That's what he needs to do. Keep away and slow down slightly and place his punches better, like he's doing right now.
Oh,
big left hand. And a right hand. And a low kick. And left and right. Tony's knocking up the points again. If he can keep this up, he's going to win this fight.
Well, they are in the corner, been called on by the referee to... No, he's letting them go. The knee coming up again. He moves in now to separate them. What a fight this is.
I think the Thai senses he's got a problem because they know the fight game is even better than we do, and they know the Thai's got problems. Look at those judges, look at the seconds in the Thai's corner. They're almost having heart attacks. They sense they're going to lose this fight. And every second from Thailand, there are 5 seconds, all screaming campaigns.
And this would be something they did not anticipate.
2, 4, 6, 7. There are 7 seconds in the Thailand corner, all screaming.
An exchange of punches, a strong knee into Lasola. Look at the seconds, they're going out of their minds as well, they might. They can see a boil over coming up, there's every possibility.
Tony can't afford to let the Thai get too many knees in. They're high scoring points. If he allows him to throw too many knees, that could be a problem for us. But overall, I'm still confident. I think Tony Hill's going to pull this one off. A right hand by Tony.
Punching.
Left hand by Tony Hill. Uppercut by Tony Hill. There's the Thai leaning with that left and throwing the right. They are not hurting Tony. The Thai needs to keep using his knees to level the points on this. That's what he needs. And he's doing it.
And Hill walks up to him and says, come and get some more.
What about the raw courage of Tony Hill in this fight?
unbelievable guts. 30 seconds to go in the round. 30 seconds to go. And Hill's still walking up to him.
Tony Hill's corner has two people reserved and watching. There are now 8 seconds in the Thailand corner. Screaming, they sense they're going to lose this.
And Hill even throwing in the kicks now. There's the ring. There it is. Bring it up. It's all over. What a sensation. The crowd rises to their feet. They know they've seen something special here. Pisetlex, the second Thai welterweight champion, against Tony Hill, who's had 18 fights against 80 fights for the Thai, and they have seen something extra.
Look at the Thai trainers. They're very happy with that.
Here's another replay.
They've come a long way, and they've got a war on their hands. The Thais are now congratulating Tony, even without the scorecards. Look at those punches of Tony Hill. Right on the button. The only thing he lost a couple of points in this round was the extra knees from the Thai, but it'll be interesting to see whether the judges go with the damage Tony did with the hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. It goes to the blue corner, Pisetlex.
The only thing I can think is the judges have gone for the knees. He was a superior fighter throughout most of the rounds with knees, and this is a problem in Thai boxing. The punches are not higher scorers as the knees.
Right.
Tony, there's only one way to describe that fight. That was a guts effort. He scored well in those early rounds, but you really came back strongly.
Yeah, well, that's the way the Thais fight. They usually start off pretty slow at a slow tempo and they build up. Where I tried to, my strategy was to start off hard and scare him, but it didn't happen. I put a few big punches on him. I could see his head going back. I thought I was going to bust the little fella's nose, but just didn't happen. He was too strong. I couldn't do anything about it, I suppose. So I put up my best shot. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming, because without all you guys here, the sport wouldn't be what it is. Also, I'd like to thank the sponsors, the promoters, and just all the other guys for fighting, because that's what it is. It's just fighting. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Hill.